5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 429 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Our work week has come to an end, and we're about to kick off the NFL playoffs. That's right, an epic stretch of games. We're right in the middle of it. We do have, of course, a huge college football playoff Final Four game tonight, Oregon, Indiana. That thing is sharp as a tack. Man, we got to talk about this one. That'll be my official bet here for tonight. You might know where I'm going already on this one because we've talked about this game quite a bit, but there's further movement in the direction that we are happy about. So full breakdown on that one. But of course, the NFL postseason, one of my favorite times of the year. Epic weekend coming up. We got 2 games tomorrow. We got 3 games on Sunday. We got a Monday night game, Houston and Pittsburgh. So because it's a Friday, because we're finishing up our work week, and we're getting ready for a huge NFL postseason weekend, I'll give you my final card. Best bet on every single one of these games. So some of these are games, or a lot of them are games we already talked about, but some numbers are moving. Some rhythm and juice reel system matches and sharp mush edges and AI model predictions are also adjusting here as well. So give the updated numbers and the stats and all the plays here upcoming for this weekend. And then, of course, we're gonna remind you all that we have an awesome NFL Survivor contest, which it's getting the train's leaving the station, guys. You've heard me say it before, but it is officially, quote unquote, the Appelbaum NFL Playoff Survivor with Splash Sports. We're up to 61 entries. So you guys have been filing in, so I appreciate you. $25 an entry. You can do up to 7 entries, and the winner, if they can survive, what's that old Akon song? Soul Survivor. I always think about that when I think of Survivor. Also, there's a great Curb Your Enthusiasm where a Holocaust survivor gets into an argument at the dinner table with a contestant on the show The Survivor. One of the all-time favorite Curb scenes of all time. But anyway, you still have a day to jump into this thing. So $25 could win you $5,000. And I hope the winner comes from someone listening right now, like my guy Manny Davidson, who took home the first Survivor contest. But as always, guys, you can easily sign up just by going to my Twitter page at Josh_insights, and the pinned tweet at the very top of my page. It'll have a tweet there about the Survivor contest. So you get right in, come on down, throw your hat in the ring. Hope you win. Again, feel free to spread this link far and wide. More people that enter, the bigger the pot for whoever can take home the win. So last call for the NFL Playoff Survivor Contest with Splash Sports. Now, before we get to, of course, Oregon and Indiana for tonight, and then going through all of the NFL games upcoming this weekend, we got to talk about last night, guys. I'll look at it one of 2 ways. On the one hand, that Ole Miss Miami game was one of the best, most intense back-and-forth games I've seen in a while, just from a standpoint of being a fan. What an awesome back-and-forth game competition. I mean, it was incredible. Sadly, we came up just short because we got Ole Miss plus 3.5, and they lost by 4. And they gave it up at the very end with Carson Beck. Everyone was covered, but he walked right into the end zone to crush us in that one. And believe it or not, there's only 18 seconds left, and Chambliss, who I just saw today that the NCAA denied his 6th year of eligibility, when I didn't realize that Mr. Carson Beck, who beat us last night, he's in his 7th year of college, so explain that one to me. But anyway, 18 seconds left. They made it interesting. And there's also, I don't think you can, bank on a pass interference call when you throw a Hail Mary pass here. But, hey, it looked like maybe he was held, but maybe that's me just being annoyed that we had a plus 3.5 and lost by 4. But what was really annoying is that Ole Miss, in the 4th quarter, they were up 20-19. They were up 27-24. And I was actually DMing one of my friends, my wise guys on Twitter, and he said, "Don't we wish that they missed that 2-point conversion?" I'm like, "Yep, we do," because the fact that Ole Miss made a 2-point conversion to make it 27-24, we hope that they didn't make it, so it would be 25-24, and then all Miami would have to do is go down the other way and kick a field goal. Now there were some missed kicks, so who knows what that happens there. But the fact that they did make that and make it a 3-point game, then it's like, okay, go for the win instead of the tie. So it's kind of weird how you're like, oh, nice 2-point conversion. What a huge conversion. It's like, oh, actually we Kind of hope that he didn't make it. That way, maybe it would have been a walk-off field goal the other way, and we would have covered the 3.5. So either way, guys, just a great game that came up just short. So we'll see if we can get it back here tonight with Oregon and Indiana. Now, without further ado, let's talk about this matchup, because this is one of those games that, if you believe in data-driven sharp contrarian betting, this one gets you very, very excited. So let's set the stage, talk betting splits, talk system matches, talk sharp mush and juice reel edges, as well as rhythm, and I'll give you my play here for this one. So, of course, this is the second half of the Final Four. We've already had Miami punch their ticket to the championship game. This game tonight is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is the College Football Playoff semifinal at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. It'll be played at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Falcons. Winner plays Miami in the championship. That's on Monday the 19th, and that'll be at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, which technically is a home game. De facto home game there for the U. Anyway, a little background on these teams. Oregon comes in 13-1. They are the 5 seed. They just shut out Texas Tech 23-0 in the quarterfinals. Technically, they did close as a 1.5 point neutral site dog, so that was a dog that did bark in the last round. Meanwhile, Indiana 14-0, number 1 seed, just dominated Bama 38-3 in the quarterfinals, easily covered as a 7.5 point neutral site favorite. Now, what have we seen across the board? Well, this thing's been all over the place. It opened with Indiana listed as a 4-point neutral site favorite. And early in the week, we saw that -4 get up to -4.5. And at the time, I'm saying, okay, we have number one, a very, very contrarian spot, because big issue for me and big, part of the cap why I'm on Oregon, which you've heard me talk about before, is that right off the bat, I noticed how contrarian Oregon was. Right now, the updated numbers, 74% of spread bets at DK are going with Indiana. Indiana is undefeated, number 1 seed. Mendoza won the Heisman. Signetti, is the new, the new Belichick, the new Lombardi, I guess. So all this love for Indiana, automatically, it's been lopsided from beginning to end, really. So I'm thinking, okay, championship game, regardless of the line movement, I want to take the points. I want to be on the 26% side as a contrarian, not the 74% herd mentality, every drunk guy at the bar in America going with the Hoosiers. So when it got to 4.5, I'm like, okay, this looks to be the best number. So I did jump on Oregon at +4.5 at -112. Well, this line is now down to 3.5. And not only is it down to 3.5, but if you guys paid attention to the movement on game day, always respect game day movement. And, it was kind of frustrating too, because we talked about it on the Rhythm Rundown last night. Thank you all for tuning in. But there was, and we mentioned on the pod yesterday, but there was that late steam on the over yesterday. We saw that over for Miami and Ole Miss go from 51.5 up to 52.5, and even closed as high as 53.5. So that game day movement was ticking up, and it ended up going over. In this case, all this game day movement is further toward the Ducks. Ducks are down to 3.5. Not only are they down to 3.5, but all the 3.5s are juiced toward the Ducks. +3.5, -115, -120. And I'm now seeing 2 books get down to 3. DraftKings and the Score. So, again, open -4, Indy, got up to -4.5. Now it's down to 3.5, and it's getting down to 3. So huge, huge movement back toward Oregon. And why is that movement so important? One, game day movement important because limits are raised, biggest bets come in. But secondly, it is moving in the direction of the contrarian side. So if everyone and their mother is on Mendoza and the Hoosiers, why does the line keep falling toward Oregon? If the public's hammering Indiana at -4, -4.5, why are the odds makers now saying, oh, here, come only get -3.5. Now, hey, get a 3. Why are they handing out an even better price to the public when the public's on Indiana regardless? Tells me we have a classic reverse line move play. RLM is when the betting line goes away from the popular side, Indiana, toward the unpopular side, Oregon. So super contrarian play in a heavily bet primetime game. Sharp reverse line movement. Ducks are a dog who can score system match, averaging 36.4 points per game. So keep pace or backdoor cover. Oregon also is a conference dog. Oregon was in the Pac-12 forever, but I think it's in their 3rd year in the Big Ten. So technically that would be a conference dog. Built-in familiarity, levels the playing field, rivalry aspect, benefits the team getting points. Also Oregon, maybe a motivational edge here. Because if you guys remember, it's a revenge game. Oregon played Indiana at home back in early October. I think it was week 5, week 6. They were a 7-point favorite. They lost outright 30-20. So as if Oregon and Dan Lanning needed more motivation. You could, of course, tell your team, hey, we're a dog, no one believes in us. But then also you got revenge against a team that beat you in your own building. So maybe that's another added piece of motivation. Even though we had Ole Miss fail to cover for us last night, I still can't get over that. 3.5 and you lose by 4. But we have dogs in the postseason in the playoff, 6-3 against the spread, 5-4 straight up. Make matters even more exciting. Let's go to Rhythm. Rhythm has 2 recommended models on Oregon. One is actually Oregon minus 1.3. Another one is Oregon minus 0.4. So if you can still get that 3.5, which you should be able to do, although again, a lot of books are getting down to 3. I love the fact that it keeps going back toward the contrarian Oregon side, because that tells me we have a very, very sharp game day move continuing in our direction. But Rhythm's got Oregon favored to win this game. So if you haven't gotten the 4.5, again, you got to get that 3.5, which you should be able to get. But then also I popped open Juice Reel. 2 things I like about this. 1, 13% sharp mush edge on Oregon from Juice Reel. So majority of the sharper winning players also going with Oregon, who have synced up their books and downloaded the app. But also, one of the 2 Robo Jackson best bet picks today is Oregon in the points. So add it all up here, guys. I've loved this from the start. Anytime you give me a super unpopular team with a line move in a playoff heavily bet game, that's an auto bet for me. So hopefully you guys listening jumped on the 4.5 with me. If you sign up to get the All Systems Go best bet picks, I did put it in the 4.5 a while ago, but I'm loving the fact it's down to 3.5 or even 3, and we're in an epic bet against the public spot here tonight. So go Ducks 4.5. Again, now 3.5, but at least get the 3.5 because some books are getting down to 3. I would mention there was that late steam toward the over yesterday. There's steam toward the over here today, guys. It opened 46.5. When I wrote the sharp report for vsin.com was 48.5. I'm seeing some 49s right now. You do have 67% bets, 72% dollars at DK on the over. At Circa, almost 80% of bets and dollars on the over. And we are in indoors game, inside a dome. So fast track here. So if you like the over, you are getting game day movement toward a higher scoring game. But man, I cannot wait to sweat the Ducks tonight. Ducks fly together, flying V. Let's go, Oregon. Now, let's take a look toward the weekend because we have an epic weekend of football. And you know what? I told the wife, I was like, hey, she's like, what are you up to this weekend? I'm like, well, it's the playoffs. And I did want to see Marty Supreme. It's the new Timothée Chalamet movie where he's the ping pong player. So I was like, hey, babe, would you do like a matinee, like a 1 o'clock? Not knowing or not telling her that, hey, the whole point is I want to be able to see LA Rams Carolina at 4:30. And she's like, oh, I'd love to. And I was like, can we get lunch too? And she's like, yeah, I'd love to. So we'll be watching Marty Supreme in the movie theater, getting lunch, and then all football rest of the night for me. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But anyway, let's talk about all these games. Aforementioned Rams Carolina. I'm taking the points here, guys, with the Carolina Panthers. A couple things here. Number 1, there's kind of a battle here between the 10.5 and the 10. Open basically minus 10 Rams. You're up to 10.5 at most shops, but a lot of these shops are juicing up the Carolina side, plus 10.5, minus 115. You're also in a spot where Bryce Young has covered a lot of these numbers. Bryce Young, in his career, when he's a home dog, I believe he is, I had it the other day, I think he's 13-6 ATS or 12-7 ATS, something like that, but he's been really good covering numbers at home as a dog. You look at Circa, only 43% of spread bets, but 90% of spread dollars are on Carolina. Carolina would match as a wildcard dog, 64% against the spread since 2017. A playoff dog, 61% ATS since 2017. But here's a really good system. A wildcard dog missed the postseason the previous year. Buying low on these teams has been a smart bet historically. That's a 70% against the spread system. Also, it's a bit of a, I'm not going to call it a low total. It's like 45.5, 46, but you are double-digit dog. Getting 10.5 here with the hook. Hook is important. You should be able to get it. It is available pretty much everywhere. But it's a little bit of relative dog low total or dog medium total. So harder for the big favorite to cover there. And then lastly, Rhythm. Rhythm is saying we should take Carolina. 3 models here. We have Carolina plus 6.9, Carolina plus 3.5, Carolina plus 6.4. And our friends at Juice Reel also have a 7% sharp mush edge on Carolina. So again, a lot of people are saying Carolina doesn't deserve to be here. Rams are going to blow them out. I'm going to lean on these dog system matches here, guys. I took Carolina plus 10.5. Late game, Green Bay and Chicago. Now, this line has moved toward Green Bay. A lot of books were Pick'em or Green Bay -1. Now you're up to Green Bay around -1.5. But I'm going to take the 1.5 with Chicago Bears here. On the one hand, you do have a good split at circa 72% bets, 80% dollars on Chicago. So you might say, oh, that's public. But remember, circa is caters more to wise guys, sharps out in Vegas. But aside from the split there at circa, you have Chicago as a divisional dog. So again, built-in familiarity, levels the playing field, benefits the team getting points. We also have Chicago playing well at home, 6-2. Green Bay 4-1 on the road. I have 3 models on the Bears lighting up here from Rhythm. Rhythm says they should be plus 0.1. I have another model minus 0.3. And I have another model minus 0.7. So all 3 of my models are saying to take the Bears. Bears would also be a system match of a dog who missed the postseason the previous year, which would be that same system that is lighting up here in favor of Carolina. You're also a primetime dog. So primetime dog could be also a weather type game because I am looking at a lot of wind. It could be cold. You could get some snow. Wildcard weekend unders are 60% historically. We have seen that total drop. I think it was like 46, 45. Now it's 44.5. And another really good system lighting up on the Bears is that short playoff dog plus 3 or less. That system is 26-10 against the spread, 72% with a 40% ROI since 2017. Lastly, our friends at Juice Reel, 3% sharp mush edge. So Rhythm is saying it should be a pick'em game or even Bears slightly favored. Dogs have barked this round, so I'm taking the dog Bears plus 1.5. Next one for you. I think if you like the Bears, you like the Jags. Give me the Jags here, guys. This is your Sunday 1 o'clock game. Very similar, where we were basically a pick'em or a -1 Buffalo. It got to Buffalo -1.5. But I'm seeing these 1.5s now get back down, guys. If you look at the updated numbers across the board as we get closer and closer to kickoff, you're now seeing some books creep down to Jags +1. I'm seeing one book that is basically a pick'em. So it might be your last chance to get that +1.5. I'm still seeing +1.5 at DraftKings and FanDuel around -120. I'm actually seeing the score. I'm in Massachusetts. The score is now -1.5 Jacksonville. So that 1.5 with Jacksonville looks to be your best price here. But a few things to like about the Jags. Dog who can score system match, averaging 28 points per game. They've been really good at home, 7-2. Josh Allen, as great as he is, I might rue my words here because he's awesome, but he's had a bit of a foot issue. Let's see how good he can be and how effective he can be. You also have a, short playoff dog, 3 or less, playoff dog, wild card dog, missed playoffs previous season. All these systems are lighting up with Jacksonville. Also the Jags, Rhythm has them favored, -0.2, -1.7. And oh, by the way, an 8% sharp mush edge on the Jags from our friends at Juice Reel. So I did take the +1.5 with Jacksonville. Feeling good about a lot of these bets we've made, but I'm a little worried about this one, San Fran and Philly. This one opened up Philly -3.5, got up to Philly -4.5. I'm thinking, okay, this thing might start to come back down, but that didn't happen. It's gotten now up to -5.5 with Philly. So I am in a bad spot here. I got +4.5 with San Fran. If you're like me and you got a bad San Fran, it's up to you what you want to do. You're the final arbiter of your bankroll. But I'm one of those dance with the one who brung you better, so I'm just going to stick with my bad 4.5 and try to get lucky and cover this number. But yeah, a lot of these books are now at 5.5, so we have seen this line tick up further toward Philly. I'm wondering, I mentioned this in the Rhythm Rundown last night on the live stream, like, is this true smart money hitting Philly, or is this injury report? Because Trent Williams and Pearsall are banged up, and I don't think they practice. So, again, what's going on there? But still, you do have San Fran, playoff dog, wild card dog. Dog missed the postseason the previous year. And we actually have Rhythm with 3 models. One is +5.3, which isn't great with a 4.5. Another is +4.8, not great with a 4.5. But there's a third model that says Niners should be +2.1. So I'm going to hopefully cross my fingers and see if we can cover this number and get, a bad number for me with the 4.5. If you haven't played it yet, you can get that 5.5. So obviously an advantage there. But I'm actually seeing one book go to 6. So really not feeling great about this one. I might have played San Fran too early, but we'll see if I can get lucky on that one. Last one, Sunday night. Chargers, Patriots. Again, this is a spot for me where I'm going to fan tax, emotional hedge, whatever you want to call it, because I am a Pats fan, diehard, born and raised. I remember watching the Super Bowl where Pats beat the greatest show on turf. I was 13 years old next to my dad. I always remember that game, and then the Red Sox breaking the curse. 2 greatest games I ever watched with my dad. But anyway, I'm taking Chargers plus 3.5. What I like about this is a really good contrarian play, because right now, if you look at the splits here, when it comes to the Patriots game, public is all over New England, 65% of spread bets. However, Pats open -4, they're down to 3.5. And if you look at the 3.5, guys, I mentioned this earlier, I wanted to wait and say, okay, can I wait and get a 4 again? Well, no, the juice is on the Chargers side. A lot of these books are plus 3.5, -110, -115 toward the Chargers. So further liability on the Chargers. They would be a primetime dog. They'd be a dog, playoff dog, wild card dog. And this is your crazy 16-1 system, which sounds insane, but it's real. I checked it. Wild card dog playing an opponent who missed the playoffs the previous season. 94% against the spread since 2017. You'd also be with a decent rhythm edge. Chargers plus 3.8, plus 3.3, plus 3.2. So not huge, but 3.5 here. You'd also have a 6% sharp mush edge from our friends at Juice Reel on the Chargers. So I am taking Chargers 3.5 here, seeing if they can. A perfect outcome for me. Pats win by 3. My team advances. Chargers cover the 3.5. And then the game that I'm most excited about, maybe. Again, I can't wait to sweat all these games, but Monday Night Football, guys. Raise your hand if you got Pittsburgh plus 3.5. I hope everyone's raising their hand, because guess what, guys? They're down to 3, and I'm seeing the juice on the Steelers plus 3, -115. Like, it may get down to 2.5. So this is just an awesome sharp reverse line move, because public does not believe in Pittsburgh. Right now you're getting 60% of spread bets on the Texans, but Texans fell -3.5 to 3, and the juice is toward Pittsburgh again, like it gets down to 2.5. So very clearly we're getting public Houston, but line going to the Steelers. Steelers match wild card dog, playoff dog, short playoff dog, 3 or less, primetime dog low total. Total is 38 here. It's falling. And then also Mike Tomlin as a dog, 70-42 against the spread, 62% in his career, all lighting up here with Pittsburgh. 2% sharp mush edge, nothing crazy, but a little bit from our friends at Juice Reel. And then our friends at Rhythm, get a load of this. 3 recommended models on the Steelers, plus 1.6, plus 0.5, and -1.2. So basically a pick'em game or even Pittsburgh favorites. So I'm loving. And again, hopefully you got the hook. Plus 3.5, because a lot of these books are getting down to 3. Even if you haven't played it, you probably want to grab the 3 now, because it might get down to 2.5 by the time we get back on the pod on Monday. So that about does it. Running through all the postseason games, pro and college here on a big Friday, wrapping it up here. As always, I want to start by saying, number 1, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding with me in the arena every single day, through the ups and the downs, the winning days, the losing days, the days we're grinding, making 0.1 units or losing -1.2 units. Again, just like in life, sports betting, there's ups and downs. So the fact that you guys show up, tune in, have a positive attitude, despite maybe a bad beat the previous night, it means a lot to me. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to sweat these sharp contrarian plays with me. If you do enjoy the pod, you want to help me grow the podcast, please, would you give it a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes? Leave a nice comment under the review section if you feel so inclined. Those are important. Recommend the pod to a friend. Retweet the pod when I tweet it out. Or, of course, click the follow button. That way you get alert as soon as it pops up each day. Next, if you enjoy this style of betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp, contrarian betting, focusing on line movement, bet splits, system matches, taking a contrarian approach, betting games based on what the data, the numbers are saying, not what our heart and our bias is telling us. Because you listen to your heart and your bias and your gut. Everyone says go with your gut. Nope. Maybe in life in certain situations, but not in sports betting. Go with what the numbers are saying. You're going to do much better long term. But if you do enjoy this style of betting and you want to learn more about data-driven betting, or maybe you have a friend or family member or somebody who wants to get into betting, or loves betting but doesn't win a lot and makes a lot of these mistakes, parlays every favorite and takes every public play and is loosey-goosey with their bankroll, well, you should go to Amazon.com, type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook or the Everything Guide to Sports Betting, the 2 books that I've written. Very proud of both. If you want to grab one or the other, bring him to the sports book. I'll sign him for you. I'll buy you a beer, and we'll flying V the Ducks here tonight. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My two favorite sports betting apps. They help me win. They're going to help you win. Whether it's Rhythm with their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props, or Juice Reel with the Robo Jackson best bet picks, the sharp mush indicators, the arbitrage plays, the shop for the best line futures, or if you'd like to support the pod and tip your podcast host, you can get the ASG Pod official best bets from the Juice Reel app. It costs $4.99 a week, $5 tip jar. Again, this pod is free. If you want to let me know you appreciate it, pay for those best bets. It would make me happy and my buddy Ricky Gold, who runs Juice Reel, make him happy as well. But give both Juice Reel and Rhythm a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, do you have a live odds page? If you don't, you need one. Or maybe you have one, but it's too expensive, or maybe it's free, but it's slow, and you don't know where the data is coming from, and it never updates in time. It doesn't have live in-game wagering. Well, you should switch over to Odds Logic. Just go to oddslogic.com/Josh123. Make sure it's /Josh123 at the end. You get a 7-day free trial, 50% off your first month of service. Next, do you have Novig? Novig is a sports betting exchange. It's not a sports betting app, so it's not a sports book. Instead, you're going to get way better juice prices. So, for example, I'm popping up Novig right now for the Ducks and the Hoosiers. You can get Oregon plus 3.5 minus 121, or Indiana minus 3.5 plus 113. Over 48.5 minus 104, under 48.5 plus 100. You're getting better juice prices because you're going up against other sports bettors and not the house. So download Novig, and when you fund your account, there's a little promo code there. Put in Josh123. You'll get an extra $25. And then, of course, last call, toot toot, train's leaving the station. Last call for the Appelbaum Survivor Contest. Again, we're going to have some fun here between now and the Super Bowl. If you can pick winners and survive, you could turn $25 into $5,600. So please sign up. You can click that link on the top of my profile at Josh_Insights, and I'd love for one of you guys to make some cheddar here as we steam into the new year. So that about does it, everybody. Of course, two final thoughts. One, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash in my neck of the woods on the border of Massachusetts and Nashville, New Hampshire, or of course out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays, jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa, wherever it may be. You're going to show me that Ole Miss ticket. Again, they had it in their hands and just lost it at the end. Man, up 20-19, up 27-24, only to lose by 4 when you have a 3.5. So frustrating, pour one out. But man, hell of a game. If you can get to a point where you lose your bet and you're mad, but you are able to admit, wow, what a great sporting event. Like, that's why you love sports. That's why you love football. It was one of those games last night. It just would have been a little bit better if Ole Miss could have lost by 3. Anyway, coming off an 0-1 or a 1-0, a winning night, a losing night, a hot streak, a cold streak, somewhere in the middle, we're always grinding, guys. Never get too high or too low. When things are good, don't expect betting to be easy. When things are not going your way, don't get down on yourself. Stay even-keeled. Play the long-term approach, which, of course, means we're looking for those system matches against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays, and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Friday night, everybody. Have an even better weekend. Hope you enjoy the NFL playoffs here. Let's get these dogs to bark. Knock on wood. And, of course, we'll be right back at it on Monday for episode 430 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Good luck, everybody, and enjoy the sweats. Good luck.